Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Miguel from UCGym.com, and today I'm bringing you a new video. And today we're going to be making a meat and potatoes meal, which is just going to be some ground beef and some veggies in there, and then some potatoes on the side. So just basic meat and potatoes, not a very fancy, complicated dish. It's not really organic or anything, just the meat is, because it tastes cleaner than the vegetables are not organic, because I think they taste better unorganic, because they just taste better and more, natural, even though it contradicts what organic is. It just tastes better in my opinion. So let's get to it. So we're starting off washing our hands as we should do, in case you have any any germs on your hands from like petting your cat or doing other things from the day. So right now I'm washing my hands and I'm showing you my chef's knife. I'm sharpening it because you're gonna need to sharpen it to cut the vegetables. If it's too dull, then you're not gonna cut your veggies properly. Here I'm showing you the organic ground beef. It's 1.64 pounds, I believe, so it's kind of a lot of meat. But it's going to be for dinner and then for my lunch the next day. So I just showed you half a white onion. You can use half a white onion, a full white onion, or a third of a white onion, or no white onion. It just depends on how much you want to use and what your tastes are. So here you can see I'm cutting the onion. I tried to get fancy because I just watched a lot of cooking shows and wanted to be a chef for a while, but I grew out of it. So yeah, I tried cutting the onion all fancy and stuff, all neat, but kind of got irritated. So just giving it a rough chop. The chopping size doesn't really matter. It can be, as fine as you want, as rough as you want, big or small. Here I kind of leave it decently small so that you don't bite into big pieces of onion. They just kind of dissolve into the mixture that you're going to make, along with the tomatoes, the chili peppers, the carrots, and yeah, most of it. So here I'm just putting the onions to the side in a plate, and I'm showing you 2 carrots. You can use as many carrots as you want, as little carrots as you want, same thing. So right now I'm using 2 medium carrots, I guess, medium small. I'm washing them first, and there's a peeler. We're gonna peel the carrots to get the skin off, because it can be a little tough, chewy, and just, it doesn't taste that good. So we're just gonna peel the carrots, and yeah, you're gonna peel both of them. You can leave the skin on if you like it. I personally don't, but it's all up to your taste. You don't have to follow my recipe, verbatim. You can do any recipe any way you want. It's just up to you. Here I'm just cutting the edges off of the carrots because they're what usually begins to decompose first after storing it for a while. But if you're getting fresh carrots from a farm or something like that, you can absolutely use the tips and all that stuff, whatever parts you want to use. I personally don't use it because that's what I learned when watching all these cooking shows and stuff, is to just cut the ends off. Right here I'm cutting the carrots vertically into long strips, so that you can then turn it down and then cut it into smaller pieces. So instead of having discs, you're gonna have semicircles. I don't know, they're just easier to eat. Usually when you're making a meal, you want everything to be bite-sized. So, and there's my cat. You want each bite to be bite-sized. You don't want to have to, get big pieces of food in your mouth and have to eat it. So bite-sized pieces. Just gonna put that to the side with the onions. But again, use as much as you want, chop it any way you want, it's all up to you. Here I put a skillet, a large skillet, on medium-high heat to high heat, and then I'm going to add some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. You can use whatever olive oil you like, or coconut oil, or cooking spray. You can use anything you want that will prevent the food from sticking and help cook it faster. So I added the onions first to coat them with the oil, because usually they taste better when cooking with the oil first, because they absorb it, then they caramelize and they brown and they get sweated and all these other terms. So they just taste better. I just added some salt and pepper to help draw out the moisture from the vegetables, and added some pepper for flavoring, because salt and pepper are the basics of seasonings. And here you're watching me do a chef's trick that I forgot the name of it, but I always do it when I'm cooking some sort of like dry food or just any meal that's in a big pan, you can just, you know, do a trick. So I just found it fun to do that. Try to have fun in the kitchen as well. Don't just be bored and just go back and forth with the stove and the cutting table and the sink and all that stuff. Try to make it fun so that you don't dread having to cook every day. You can play music in the background, you can watch a movie, so try to make it more fun. You probably work all day or go to school, so you don't want to be, you know, bored with cooking. So just make it more enjoyable, try to have fun. Here I just whipped out a tomato, about medium size. I cut out the top, or the stem, I don't know what you call it, and I'm giving it a rough chop as well. The tomato size doesn't matter because the liquid, or the moisture from the tomato, is going to get drawn out, so that doesn't really matter. So push the vegetables to the side, the ones that are already in the pan, and I added the tomatoes to have them cook. Excuse me. And now here I'm chopping 2 serrano peppers. Use more if you like it spicy, or use none at all if you don't like it spicy, or use less if you like somewhat spicy. The serrano peppers are just mainly there to give it flavor. You can use jalapenos, or red peppers, or bell peppers, or you can choose anything you want. But we use serrano because it's hotter, but it's not too hot like a habanero pepper, and it just helps give some color to the vegetable mixture, which won't be really evident later on, but it just makes it look nice for now, and it gives a good flavor. So here I added more salt and pepper, and I'm going to add the meat into the pan. Just a big brick of meat. Yeah, now I'm breaking it up. You want to have as much surface contact with the meat as you can with the heat. So heat and meat, let them coincide, give equal heat distribution. Add more salt and more pepper, let the moisture dry out, and also season it at the same time. So the vegetables are pretty much done by now. All you need to do is cook the meat and, you know, mix them in shortly hereafter. So you can see the meat is a nice brown color, and that's what you want to go for with any meat. You can go for a more charred, more cooked, better tasting meat, where you just sort of blacken it a little bit on each side, cook it more. But I personally like meat medium rare, so I leave it a little undercooked. And here I'm adding some Worcestershire sauce, if that's how you pronounce it. But add as much of anything as you want to the meat mixture. You can add seasonings or herbs. I'm personally not, you know, fancy or anything, or don't have many herbs and spices at my disposal, so I don't add too much stuff to my meals, which I probably should, but I mean, I'm fine with what I have now. So now here I just washed some potatoes. I didn't peel them because it gives it a better texture to have the skin on these potatoes for the way I'm going to prepare them. So here I cut them into long slabs, or discs, and I'm going to chop it into slices like french fries. So french fries are basically what we are going to be doing. We're not going to like deep fry them or anything, we're just going to put them in a pan with some oil, basically sear them. Here's the meat. It's pretty much almost done. You can see that there's still pieces of chunks of pink in there, which is what I like. I like, you know, juicy, you know, tender meat. But you can leave it dry or raw, whatever you like. So here I'm adding another skillet to the heat. I'm putting it on high heat. I'm patting off the moisture off the potatoes, because the more moisture the potatoes have as they hit the oil, the more it's going to splatter and make a mess and make it more difficult to cook said potatoes. So here I'm adding some olive oil to the pan as well. About a tablespoon. You can use more or less depending on how much fat you're willing to eat. I personally don't really monitor what I eat. I mean, I do, but not, you know, extensively. So here I'm just adding the potatoes to the pan. Make sure you get all of them in there. And once you get them in there, you're going to be, you know, mixing it around, spreading them out, giving the potatoes equal space, covering them all in oil. And for this, you're going to want to have a lid for your pan, or have a pan that does have a lid to make it easier on yourself, because if you have a lid, all the steam that rises from the potatoes will go up the lid and come back down. So it'll cook the potatoes on the inside, and it'll prevent the oil from splattering everywhere through the cooking process, depending on how much oil you added, and if it'll actually splatter if there is enough oil. So after about a minute or two, make sure you move around the potatoes, check on them, make sure they're not burning on one side or anything. As you can see, they're yellowish already, so they're getting cooked by now. If you want them extra crispy, of course you can add more oil. And the reason we're not adding salt or pepper during the cooking process is because it'll be drawn out and just fall into the oil, so it'll just fall off. So here I'm putting it onto a paper towel to drain off the extra oil. Then I'm going to grab a paper napkin or paper towel and pat off the extra oil, because you don't need that extra oil on the potatoes because they're cooked, and it's just going to give you more fat and all that. So here I'm adding some Lowry seasoning salt, which is the best seasoning salt because it has the best seasonings ever, and it just goes good on anything. So that's pretty much it. You're going to see here the final product. The nice cooked seared potatoes, and then the ground beef with the carrots, onions, serrano peppers, and tomatoes, and salt and pepper, and Worcestershire sauce. And that's pretty much it. If you want to see more content like this, or you have anything you want done, you can let us know at UCGym.com or join our UCGym.com page, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more content like this in the future. If there's anything you want to see, just leave it in the comments below, and then I'll check back with you. We can discuss, how I can help you. So yeah, that's it. Enjoy.